Itong nakaraang linggo, nakita natin po kung paano ma-paralyze ang operation ng gobyerno sa mga controversial issues na sa Senado, mga hearings at investigation that no longer pertain to the law or development or policies, but to scandals and so on. All governments in all of history will have scandals. Pero yung mga maunlad na bansa, may patuloy na tinatahak na development goals. Ano? Kaya yung ibang mga societies, nagdedeklara ng revolutionary government. And mukhang si Presidente Duterte, nasa isip din niya yan. Tulad nitong mga headlines na susunod, no? Duterte floats idea of revolutionary government for the Philippines, but as often happens, ambiguous siya dahil ang susunod na headline, Duterte, revolutionary government good for Philippines, but I'm not into it. However, during the campaign in 2016, before he was elected, sabi ni Duterte and the people around him, if elected, Duterte will set up revolutionary government. So, ating pamagate, time for a revolutionary government without a question mark, without a period. Kayo po ang maglagay ng question mark, kayong nasa audience, ng question mark or period. But we will ask our panelists their opinion. Is it time? Is it possible? Is it going to be worse or better for the country to have a revolutionary government in light of a constitutional commission that is now being formed already? Ano?
There is a three-front war now being run by the government against drugs, against criminality, and against corruption. This is a tall order. In fact, the revolutionary government's already overdue. At ako talagang naiinip. Napakabagal nitong gobyernong to. If President Duterte thinks that he can finish this in even double his term, hindi niya matatapos ito at the present pace of which his government is running. Klarong-klaro na. And hindi ako abogado, pero ibibigay ko na sa mga abogado ang tatlong principles para sa isang revolutionary government, and it's the only formula. Kasi may mga nagsasabi ngayon na through people's initiative, through CONAS, through CONCON, perish the thought. Even by martial law, you cannot put up a revolutionary government because martial law has already been decapitated by the 1987 Constitution, where the President is made to report to Congress about his declaration of martial law. The first principle is in Article 2, Section 1 of the Constitution that reads, "The Philippines is a democratic and republican state. Sovereignty resides in the people, and all government authority emanates from them." In other words, ikaw, ako, si Ferdie, together with 105 million Filipinos, are the absolute sovereign. Ang pangalawang principle is that the people have a right to revolution. Nagulat kayo dyan. We all have a right to revolution. Ang ating jurisprudence for our Constitution and everything democratic about our system is the American system of government, which is based on the very basic principle of Thomas Jefferson in the American Declaration of Independence, which says, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it. Ganyan po kabigat yan. And to institute a new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such a form as to them shall seem most likely to effect their safety and happiness. Yan po ang pangalawang principle. At ang pangatlong principle po is enshrined in our very Constitution, and this is the mechanics by which a revolutionary government can be put in place. On Section 3 of Article 2 of our Constitution, it is said the armed forces of the Philippines is the protector of the people and the state.
Okay.
So yun.
Well, our
Simple lang.
other guest for today was supposed to be Governor Homo Bono
By
Adasa.
the way, I was quoting him.
Yeah, but Bono is under the weather and in the hospital. Nothing serious. We just visited him. And what revived him was our visit because we started injecting him with politics and not antibiotics. At nakaupo ka agad at 2 oras diretsong nagsalita. Unfortunately, he cannot be with us because the doctors will not allow him and we do not have the facilities for his suero. But you just heard the quotes from Bono Adasa also on his constitutional transition government. Ferdie has a slightly different view about the revolutionary government at this time.
A revolutionary government, in order to be effective, must be of the people, by the people, and for the people. It should not be of the oligarchs, by the oligarchs, and for the oligarchs. Now, a revolutionary government, before you institute it, if the president himself will initiate it, he has to show resolve first in implementing all the laws of the Republic of the Philippines, including the Constitution, to go after the oligarchs. That's first, so that the people will know what direction you are taking. Because under the present Constitution, the president is endowed with tremendous powers as compared to the 1935 and the 1973 Constitution. And you can use it. And the present Constitution is very socialistic. It's very pro-people. It's anti-monopoly, anti-oligopoly, anti-price gouging, anti-overpricing, pro-consumers, pro-farmers, pro-workers. If the people will not see any reform, genuine reform within the present system, and then you institute a so-called revolutionary government at this time, it might be misconstrued by the people as a way of evading the issues by abolishing the Constitution, abolishing the Supreme Court, abolishing the Senate. And so before we institute a revolutionary government, it must first be clear that the government is anti-oligarchs. But as it is right now, prices of everything is going up. And at the same time, on the part of the president, at this point in time, I will not advise him to do so because if you declare a revolutionary government, you will be reduced to a mere de facto head of state that you can be deposed anytime. But he was elected for a fixed term. For 6 years, he's guaranteed that term. So why replace the jure government under him, which has the support of the people, with a de facto government wherein you can be easily ousted
by another force that will claim revolutionary right.
Because a revolutionary government can be ousted by another revolutionary government from the left, from the right, or from the center.
Yeah, okay. I'll come in at this point. Of course, the constitutional transition government of Bono Adasa is still based on the Constitution. My problem with that, however, one of the obstacles to development is the Congress itself. And under the present Constitution, the President will report again if it's a martial law type of revolution. So,
kaya hindi pwede yung martial law formula.
However, the President, for example, with regards to EPIRA, if we are really against the oligarchs, by a mere signature of the President, declaring a bill, abolishing the EPIRA or amending the EPIRA for the sake of the people, by a mere signature of the President certifying that bill to abolish EPIRA or to amend the EPIRA to make it pro-people, certifying it as urgent, it will surely become a law in a very fast period of time, in a very short period of time.
Well, that is what I'm wondering about. Our Congress, our Senate, and the government itself has not yet tackled this power issue, although I see some beginnings, like allocating only 1,000 pesos for the entire operation of the Energy Regulatory Commission. But certainly the energy issue, which connects to the, for example, the cement price issue in the Philippines, which is double that of Vietnam, as our colleague on your radio program, Maestro, the unfinished revolution.
Not only cement, but everything.
Everything else. And investors are already leaving the country because partly, and a major reason for that is the power cost.
You brought in my program.
Yeah, that's
It's
right.
5 to 7, Monday to Friday.
In the morning.
In the morning, ng 738 kilohertz AM po. Yan ay sa Radyo Filipinas, DZRB. 5 to 7, Monday to Friday in the morning.
And the other participants are also veteran political analysts and participants. Mayor Jun Simon, former mayor of Quezon City, myself, Gil Santos, who was bureau chief of AP, Associated Press, and so on, and other guests. And Ferdie Pasion will have to come on.
He's also a broadcaster.
Bono Adasa is a regular attendee of our...
Meron na ako sasabihin doon sa, not at this time, ni Ferdie.
Yeah.
The time will come. I already have a very clear sense of how this president operates. Because I come from the same school.
Sambeda.
And it is ingrained in our mind.
I was there in kindergarten.
It's ingrained in our minds by the Benedictine tradition that in case of doubt, do not act. I think what the president is doing now is really weighing things and studying things very carefully. And I am sure that the alchemist that he is very good at doing, especially when it comes to public interest, will be sooner than later be arrived. But I predict this will not be before the 2019 elections, when he should have a better grasp of a loyal legislature.
Yeah.
Which I think even in his revolutionary government,
Good point.
next,
Yeah.
ay gagawin niya, gagamitin niya, hindi niya susuluhin ang aksyon. So magkakaroon lang ng konting mga ganon-ganon, pero at the end of it, yung pagka-abogado niya, yung pagka-due process orientation niya, lalabas din. And in his governance, we will see
Okay.
for national interest.
Let's go to Ferdie. Yeah.
Any revolution must be of the people, by the people, and for the people. It should not be of the president, by the president, and for the president. It should not be of the Congress, by the Congress, and for the Congress. A real revolution, to be genuine, must come from below. It must not come from above. It must not come from the center. I disagree with President Marcos. It should not come from the center. It must come from below. That's a genuine revolution. But however, if the president is of good faith, like President Marcos, he can institute a revolution from the center. But a genuine revolution will be for the people. We remember Marcos, Marcos executed by a firing squad, Limseng. It was for the good of the people. And then he nationalized Petron. He nationalized Meralco. Now, under the present constitution, the president is already allowed to do that. The Congress is already allowed to do that by a mere signature of the president certifying a bill as urgent. You can also already do that because it is clear in the constitution, monopolies are not allowed, oligopolies are not allowed. Even in our laws, price gouging is not allowed, overpricing is not allowed. What is happening now? The president and the Congress are somehow hesitant to go after the oligarchs. So how can the people now believe that a revolutionary government will be used for the people?
We have to wrap up. Last minute, 30 seconds, Ado. You have something?
Well, I think the moves are slowly showing up. Mabagal pero nagsisimula na magbunga.
Okay.
Ang clear example ko dito, yung nabanggit yung issue sa elektrisidad. The Energy Regulatory Board has been reduced to 1,000 pesos budget. It is as good as abolishing the ERC. So that is a signal. Hindi pa yun tapos doon.
Yeah. But my reaction to that, just to balance it, is that the finance portfolio in the cabinet is still held by a pro-oligarch
Hindi lang yun, pati yung energy sector.
Pati energy sector. No?
And most of those in the government, hindi naman to sekreto, ay dati nang galing sa private sector na ang mga boss nila ay yung mga oligarchs. So merong regulatory capture. Now, the President, hawak niya ngayon ng Congress particularly the House of Representatives and the Senate. Hawak niya ang Senate. Kukunti lang naman yung lumalaban dyan. Pati yung mga Liberal Party takot sa kanya. Sa totoo lang, di ba, umiiwas doon sa hearing. So, ibig sabihin, kung talagang gugustuhin ng Presidente, mawawasak ang oligarchy.
Okay. Well, I believe the President is a better President than yesterday, meaning he's learning. His tone is now more subdued. There are less off-the-cuff remarks. I hope this continues. So a revolutionary government later is better than today. And even Ado says 2019 probably is going to be a threshold, which would be very timely.
That's when the drastic reforms will start pouring in.
Okay.
And it will not get to 2020.
We've run out of time. Maraming salamat po. So that is the week that was.